Yeah. Wow. Do you ever forget to set your alarm, but then you just magically wake up at like exactly the time you need to? Whew. Whew. Those are close calls. Makes me feel like God. True. Tect1 is canceling himself. Tectone's ex-girlfriend is accusing him of... Oh, shit. Uh-oh. Is this like a real thing, or is this like a... How are you supposed to feel if a guy is abusive and makes you cry, then shoves your head on his crotch and demands you suck him off, and his excuse is emotion just turns me on when you cry, or when you asking that you don't feel comfortable doing something records you and demands you stop making faces and pretend you like it, or say you don't want to do it anymore. Okay. What's his response?
Okay, so if you're confused, you're going to stay confused, because this shit is not about content for me. Okay? I know the person who needs to hear this is going to hear this, and I mean this genuinely. Okay? I did everything for you. I helped you with everything. I fixed everything for you. I was there for you like nobody else was there for you in your whole life. Your words, not mine. The fact that you're letting these people get into your ear, people, the same people who are talking behind my back illegally, by the way, the same people who placed me under an NDA, where I cannot talk about them. I know they're talking to you right now behind the scenes. And they're getting you to believe in bullshit. You're talking to retard after retard, letting them get in your head and make you imagine problems that never happened. And it's insane how these things that have happened in your own mind, you are now coming at me. Okay? So if you're confused, you're going to stay confused.
Yeah, I might be biased, but I'm like 51% on his side. But 2% would move me over to her side. Just on vibes. On vibes in it out. Your vibes are wrong, true. Insane take. Why didn't he deny anything she said at all and instead just say things that sounded like making excuses? It sounds like the situation that he's describing is, I don't know if this is actually happening or not. I know what he's describing is the idea that they broke up. She's with a group of friends that doesn't really like him, and now they're like going back through every complaint she's had in the relationship and making it sound like all of it was rape. Now, it could just be that there were things like that. Obviously, I don't have I don't know, right? But her tweets read like mega stupidly. Like, what was the impetus for her to just like tweeting this shit out? Was there a reason why? Like this shit reads like that to me, but I don't know. His ex-wife also mentioned the same stuff. He's famous for being a drama frog in the gacha community, so I'm not surprised. Oh, I mean, if other people said the same thing about him, then that lends a lot more credibility that maybe these things did happen too. Sure. Is it just me or is he kind of quiet? Is he? Am I? You know what? There. Now I'm... There. Wait. There we go. Nope. Wait. There. Fuck you. Now we're going to live right on the red. Always. Okay? This is my voice from now on. Lil Gup is going to live right here in the border zone. Okay? This is where you want it. This is where it's going to be. Make it deeper? I'm going to go deeper into your mom. Oh my God. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, wait, here we go. Or just this one? It's like slightly more natural sounding. There's no way people use these pre-recorded. This is a telephone EQ? Does this really sound like a phone? Oh. Why? Did phones only record like certain frequencies or something, I guess? Huh, okay. Based. Hello. Oh, now we're on the moon. Okay, yeah, we've seen these. Okay, don't care. What is this one? Live vocal mic. I don't know. Okay, this is my normal. We use this. Okay. Hello? Okay, there we go. Wait. Okay. I still don't know how I feel about this aggressive. I don't know. I don't care. Fuck it. Oh, who cares? Okay, what is this? Enable external media. Okay.
But I'm saying us. Like us.
Oh, you mean commentators?
You mean commentators? No, commentators or listeners. We see that poll October 12th.
Wait, is something wrong with my shit, or does this sound really fucking weird?
October 12th. What's the best thing for us to do in that situation?
Oh, this is like a guy who recorded this. Easy. Okay. He must have fucked his recording up.
Okay. Oh, man, gosh, I guess to raise our voices and hope that she'll change. I mean, like, I think at that point it's so late. It's sort of like one of those things is somebody took a gut shot, because they didn't want to wear body armor. And, you're asking me what's the best triage I could do at the last second. And the answer is, well, in the future, wear the body armor. Like, you're bleeding out. There's nothing we could do to rescue you at that point.
In that case, it's like completely unactionable.
And from our point of view, yeah. Like, can we lift millions of people off the couch by saying you've got to vote for Kamala Harris no matter what she supports? Well, like, I don't think we can. I don't think we have that ability.
I don't know if we could lift millions of people. Do you think we could lift one?
Not enough to swing any of these, especially, like, I'll give you an example. Like in Michigan.
What's more likely? Looking at that poll in October and getting Kamala Harris's campaign to change, when in fact, the problem obviously was without the process of a primary, it has implications both for the candidate and for the voting population, right? And I'm just curious at that point in terms of you see that poll in terms of where we're situated, what's the best reaction in terms of the most in terms of efficacy? I think it's pretty clear. Maybe at that point, there's maybe no winning, but let's just assume you got a month.
Okay, well, watch Dan Clancy. I moved, since I'm using new cameras downstairs, I'm moving one of them up here, so I'm going to swap this fucking Sony camera out. One sec. I don't even know if it'll be better, but we'll see. This place is vibing.
Hola a todos. Estamos acá en el segundo episodio de Vamos. Mi nombre es Ignacio Stanga, trabajo aquí en Twitch hace mucho tiempo. Algunos de ustedes ya me conocen del primer episodio. Y conmigo tenemos a alguien muy especial que nos va a estar contando cosas súper cool el día de hoy. Ya lo conocen también, es Dan Clancy. Hola Dan, ¿cómo estás? ¿Todo bien? Nuestro super archi mega CEO.
Hola, hola. I'm very excited to be here.
Estoy muy contento de estar aquí. Este es nuestro segundo episodio de Vamos y tengo muchas ganas de hacer muchos más. Para los que venís aquí por primera vez, esto es un show, un programa que estamos haciendo para la comunidad hispanohablante y hablamos sobre todo lo que tiene que ver con Twitch. La manera en la que hacemos esto es que tenemos a Ignacio, que es del equipo hispano, y cada episodio traemos otro streamer o otra streamer.
Wait, hello? Did I miss
Pero
something?
antes de traer al invitado de hoy, Ignacio, ¿por qué no nos cuentas un poco
Is this...
sobre la traducción y cómo hacemos todo eso?
Por supuesto, tenemos aquí entre nosotros a alguien que ya están pidiendo todos en el chat, todos la quieren ver. Tenemos a Susi entre nosotros. Hola Susi, ¿cómo va? ¿Todo bien?
Hola, buenas, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estamos? Yo soy Susi, me estáis escuchando ahora mismo. Yo, nada, soy streamer en Twitch hace un montón de tiempo, casi 5 años ya.
Something
Y
about
hoy
being a
me
streamer on
encargaré de que
Twitch
no
for a
tengáis
long
que hacer
time
un
or something,
listening,
maybe?
¿vale? Yo antes era profe de inglés y he venido aquí a traducir todo lo que pueda a Dan Clancy, ¿vale? Para que escuchéis todo en español.
They're going
Y
to speak
nada,
English here in a
vamos
bit or
empezando
somewhere
con el
else?
segundo
I don't know.
programa
I can't,
de
I don't
Vamos
know.
Twitch.
Help
Estaré
me.
por aquí acompañándoos.
Excelente. Entonces, ya sabemos que va a estar
Okay,
Susi acá entre
that's
nosotros.
great, and then-
Hacemos ahí el pet de Susi. Tipo, así que
Okay.
eso es lo que todos quieren. Ahí.
But-
Only Clancy speaks English?
Dime, Dan.
And let me say this about, I want to say this to thank Susie. I
Dejadme
think
decir esto un momento. Quiero agradecer a
you did a
Susi.
truly amazing job.
I don't know what
Hizo
Susie
un trabajo
means.
muy bueno en el primer episodio. Conocí a Susi cuando fui a España hace poco y fue increíble conocerla y nada, quiero darle las gracias por
Something about
acompañarnos.
Speaking Spanish a
Creo
bit
que es
here.
una gran
I don't know.
diferencia
Help me.
tenerla aquí.
Oh, Susi,
Y
your
bueno,
name.
mucha
Where's
gente
the
habla
English
sobre
stream?
la IA y
This
traducción,
is tag English. Oh, and
pero no hay
español.
nada
Fuck.
como tener a Susi. Gente, eso lo ha dicho de verdad, ¿eh? Dice que es un trabajo increíble, ¿vale? Muchas gracias a Susi por estar aquí. Gracias a él, gracias a vosotros.
También tenemos a una tercera persona que se suma a nosotros el día de hoy. También súper archi mega conocido. Del otro lado del charco lo tenemos a Ispo.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Muchísimas gracias por invitarme.
¿Cómo va? ¿Todo bien? Cuéntanos un poco, o sea, para la gente que no sepa, cuéntanos un poco quién eres, qué haces, cómo llegaste aquí. Cuéntanos, Paul.
Pues bueno, llevo, mira, justo ayer fue mi 4º aniversario en Twitch. Llevo ya 4 años desde ayer ya, streameando aquí en la plataforma, un poquito de todo. Empecé con muy
Is
gaming,
it the Twitch?
probando otras cosas.
Like
no solo los
was it 4-year anniversary or something?
juegos, y también pues hacer IRLs, de
I
golpe también
don't,
hago.
I don't know. I don't care. Fuck this. Okay, you're just making me feel bad. You're making me feel bad. Cam is off. Yeah, I'm switching cameras. New camera. Good luck.
Well, I'm just curious as to like what becomes the most sort of value,
Now we're gonna listen to RoboCop. Okay.
a valuable response to that.
I don't think you're going to like my answer, which is basically telling Kamala Harris that you will not support her unless she changes on these issues that are severely damaging her campaign, and you use your voice as kind of a proxy for all the millions of people that you see that are not going to turn out. And maybe if she turns, it might be too late to turn the Titanic at that point because it's like steaming full speed ahead at the iceberg. But that's what I tried to do. You know, I was always open and like said, hey, I want to support Kamala Harris. If she will break with Biden on Gaza, especially if she'll offer a couple platform positions that progressives can sell, I'm easy. My standards are extremely low. But she instead leaned into I would do nothing differently. Joe Biden was a great president.
I know what she did. I mean, I
mean, you're asking me how do I turn the Titanic from the violin chair, and it's like you can't. Like all I can do is raise my voice and say, "Hey, iceberg ahead," and that's what I did.
Well, you're not just saying iceberg ahead because I think
I'm just curious. Do I don't want to be mean and say old people. Do boomers ever engage with or interact with their audience? Is Sam Cedar aware of the kind of audience that he has? Because Mike is probably representing a majority opinion of this audience, and I don't know if Sam Cedar's aware of that or not. Unless I'm like, or maybe I'm missing something. There's like this huge, voting woke majority report audience.
saying iceberg ahead is not the only thing. I mean, it may have no impact to run to the starboard side of the boat and help the boat turn,
Right.
whatever the starboard. I don't know the two sides. Let's just say it may help the boat avoid the iceberg by running to the left side And maybe more people do that. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But I don't know. It seems like you just felt like you were just going to yell iceberg.
Well, I mean, I did what I could, to advocate for a platform that could win, and I try to use evidence-based arguments for it.
Once you determine, without that platform, once you determine she's not going to do that, and she's not going to change because of your Twitch stream or our Twitch stream, it's more likely, it seems to me, if you or I or people of our ilk have any influence at all, we might be able to get a couple of people to vote in one way or not. I don't know, or at the very least, if there's any reason for us to even engage in this stuff, we might have more. You got to assume a couple. And it feels like that to me is a more productive thing than
blame the voters. Blame the commentators and the voters for the campaign's inability to.
No. I'm not blaming in the same way. I'm not blaming the people who could run to the other side of the deck for the boat headed to the iceberg. But I'm just saying, what action can you take to avoid that iceberg? Maybe it won't work. Maybe it will.
Okay. No, that's a perfect example. So, I mean, I think with the Titanic, it's going to hit the iceberg. You can calculate it out. I could look at it and I could say, even if all of us stood over here, and I had the perfect knowledge to say that, and we hit the iceberg, my job is to then grab the pistol from whatever member of the security staff and go into the captain's chair and grab a hold of the wheel, for the next election, for the next iceberg.
That analogy doesn't really work because the Titanic kind of crashed after the first iceberg, but okay. House interrogates a dealer. Oh, I can't watch this. I'm fucking streaming. So cringe. Work. It's a hard life. What is this?
The Chinese Communist
to what showed up on Instagram and YouTube.
When we looked at material that's sensitive to the Chinese Communist Party, these materials were significantly, inexplicably underrepresented on the platform.
Right, they concluded that videos undesirable to the CCP were underrepresented.
Wow, this guy's totally not a CIA agent, guys. This guy's not a CIA agent. I'm sure this guy has never worked in American intelligence and is not just literally pushing like this is so standard. Joel Finkelstein, guys, he's definitely doesn't. Oh man, he's
true. Did I? Oh, I mean, does he work for? Did I get the wrong fucking lens mount? There's no possible way that I ordered the wrong lens. Oh my god. Don't care. Glass is glass. Lenses are forever.
To what showed up on Instagram.
It was for it's for a Sony camera. I don't care. I've got more downstairs. I have infinite things now. Okay, I'm gonna run upstairs. Give me 1 second. And by 1 second I mean 20 seconds. No. 300 seconds. No. 180 seconds. 1 second. Oh. Sometimes I have Alzheimer's moments where I look at the lock and I just did the one downstairs and I only remember like I think the patterns of my fingers moving and I put it in and I'm like, I don't know the code to my fucking apartment. I might be fucking retarded. Okay, I got so Sigma makes a lens, this 18 to 35 millimeter lens, and I bought it it's the Blackmagic cameras use EF mounts. I don't know what the fuck mount that is over there. I don't know why or how. I don't know how I got the wrong one. Can I have the Sony lens if you're not going to use it? I mean, I still have a Sony camera here. Fuck you. What mount do you get? It's an EF mount. I probably got my guess is this is a Sony mount. I don't know. How many other fucking mounts are there? Aren't there like 3? How much research to do before making a purchase? I mean, I don't need to. I know what I need. I must have clicked an option on the Amazon. You know, sometimes there's like 5 items under the same thing. I must have clicked like another option and it did the Sony mount or something, I guess. I have no clue why. Why? I mean, why? It must be a mistake. Here, maybe. Nope. Here, maybe. Nope. Stop. Here. Aha. Boom. Flip. You want camera looking at you from above or from below? No, it's like head on, right? It's probably. What? Good one. Hold on. Stop. Pure, absolute cinema. Oh. Do you think, do I zoom this in more, or do I don't even know how the fuck this should be set up. Do I go down like this? Hello. Oh, hello, hello. Hello, Destiny. Oh, Destiny, hello. Should my camera look this close? I guess, maybe? Does Sigma even make an 18 to 35 mm lens for Sony? That's what my assumption is. More bokeh. Ugh. Okay. Camera? Yeah. Good enough. What's changed? Nothing. I have my old Sony A7 III, but I swapped out some of the cameras downstairs, so I brought one of my old Blackmagic pocket camera magic thing bullshit, whatever, up here. You can see a black outline on the right. Oh, the monitor. There. Fixed. You're much wider. You need some warmth or something. Yeah, how mad are you? Be honest. Be honest. What do you want me to do? Color balance? I mean, I can just look at this later. It's probably just capturing a slightly better image, though. Super washed out. Video, EV. I mean, unless you want me to, like, throw a LUT on it and go crazy. Nope, not that. Nah. Full screen while you're just, I can't even see it. This is probably just like a true to life capture. This is fine. You guys are wilding out. Don't care. The haircut looks good. Why? You guys should just never talk about it. I didn't get a haircut. My hair needs, desperately need a haircut. I haven't had a haircut in a long time. Okay. Why don't you push against income tax? When people have money, they spend it. And that goes to the government then either way. Not enough push-ups. What? I don't know what that means. Income tax is good. It's just a really effective way for the federal government to raise money. You completely ignored what Tim Pool said. Doubt it. Why does the background look so much better? By what do you mean by better? I don't even know. I'd have to go and compare it. Don't know, don't care. Hold on. We learn a new tech thing every day. It's more focused. Oh, well, that's probably not good. It should, ideally, you'd want to look less in focus. I don't even know how to read this. 0.29 meters slash... I don't even know what the fuck this stands for. FE228. What do you think that means? This is a 28 millimeter focal length? It probably... I think the focal length of this lens is probably set higher right now, so higher focal length means less blurry background, means slightly more in focus. Oh, f2.28. Ah, so the aperture opens as wide as to the sitting 2, and then the 28 is the millimeter of the lens. Gotcha. Why is there audio desync now? Is there? There shouldn't be. Doesn't look like it at all from my end. Did you notice the sound quality / mic of the Shane Smith interview made you both sound amazing? The hum is louder when sound is happening? Well, because otherwise it's kind of noise gated out, yeah. You guys voted for this. I polled you yesterday and you guys were like, yeah, do that. No, focal length is how long the lens is, like how zoomed in the shot is. Aperture is how big the opening is. I don't know why you think you're contradicting anything that I've just said, but thank you, buddy. Oh, never mind. I understand. It's because you don't know as much about cameras as I do. So when I said focal length is going to determine how blurry the background is, your mind immediately went to, actually, it's the aperture that determines how blurry the background is. But the very same aperture setting on different focal length lenses is going to leave different amounts of the background in focus. For instance, if you were to shoot a portrait at 200 millimeters and you were to have a relatively open aperture, there's going to be more like absolute area in focus than if you had like an 18 millimeter lens with a wider aperture. That's what I was referring to. Don't trigger me. Do you still believe that changing focal length distorts the background-foreground relation any differently than cropping it does? It doesn't change the relation. The field of view will be the same, but it will change the characteristics of what you're shooting. Yes. Please either do full noise gate or no noise gate. When you speak, the pitch of the hum changes and it's killing... It's the pitch of the hum changes or the volume of it changes? If a camera is circular, explain why the output is rectangular. Because our eyes are circular, so it perceives circles as rectangles. Dumbass. Got him. More of the hum comes through, so yeah. What do you... Okay, well, here we go. This is noise gated. Okay, we're noise gated right now. Or... This is with no noise gate. We'll do one more vote. This is no noise gate. Okay, and then this is our noise gate. All right, there you go. We'll do one more poll. We already voted on this yesterday, so I don't know why I'm doing it again, but... Nice. Did this just... Okay, here you go. Oh, see, well now this is the best because now the AC just shut off, so. Yeah, you know what? We're leaving the noise gate. I don't trust you guys. You guys are, fuck you. Okay? Fuck you. I'm aware that like you are naturally, you're very, very, very funny. Like not every, it's like when you're trying to, and then there are other things.
Well, also, you know, there's a lot of, you know, which we.
What should the appropriate level of testing look like? What should lock debating second order? You think this sounds amazing? It just sounds like a standard SM7B. A little compressed, but also we're recording in a very quiet environment too, which helps, but. Yeah, okay.
О боже, Юль бомбуса. Мій, ти жив? Ти же сохну. Юля, ти жива? Юль, ти чого там? Юля, жива, Юль!
Wait, what just happened?
О боже, Юль бомбуса. Мій, ти жив? Ти же сохну. Юля, ти жива? Юль, ти чого там? Юля, жива, Юль! Юль, планьте бомбу! У тебя в окне.
She thought the round was over. Oh, I was staring at her camera. I'm not even watching the gameplay. Oh, I thought she did. Oh, wait, what happened? Okay, sorry.
О боже, Юль бомбуса.
Oh.
Мій, ти жив? Ти же сохну.
She forgot she was on terror? Okay. Okay. Why'd you link me this? And it's 4 days old? Okay, don't care. The loudest frequencies from the AC are the loudest and are gated when you're not talking, but when you talk, those loud frequencies come back, so we perceive the pitch going up too. Pitch going up implies oh wait, oh my god, what did I just do? Like that. That's pitch going up. That's pitch going up. You're talking about the volume going up. The volume is increasing, not the pitch is increasing. That would be the note is getting higher, not louder. Higher like I am. Oh. The hold on. I learned a thing. Which is so stupid. The all of these enclosures are not made the same. I was using these enclosures for my NVMe drives to record on, but the problem is they overheat. And when it gets too hot, the drive stops writing because it has to shut down thermal throttle, right? So then the next step was, okay, well, what if I get a noise gate that, or not a noise gate, fuck me. Now I need to get an enclosure that has like cooling involved, basically, right? I need an enclosure like a fan or something. We'll call it active cooling instead of passive cooling. Hold on, I gotta log into this stupid fucking website. Am I done for not knowing what an enclosure is? Well, basically, like, so pretend you have an NVMe drive, right? Like, I have one of these, okay? And I want to be able to plug this into a device, like, say, a camera, in order to record. Well, obviously, cameras don't have, or maybe it's not obvious. Cameras don't have, I don't know what this is. Is this the, I don't know if this is considered an M2 slot, or if it's NVMe is the slot. I don't know what the form factor is here, but I can't plug this right into the camera. This is an M2 slot. Okay, yeah. So what I need is I need something that interfaces between this M2 slot and ideally, I guess, USB-C, right? So that's what like an enclosure will do. It'll help you interface devices that aren't ordinarily plug-inable into ways that are plug-inable. Is what an enclosure typically does. You need to use a heatsink. This obviously has heat sinks in it. It's a NVMe enclosure, and it does. Why'd you pick that ROG one? It's, I don't know, just rated really highly. It's like, okay. Jesus, I hate navigating websites. Oh my god. Okay, so then I looked up different enclosures, and then I came across this one that has Blackmagic on it. Or it says like Blackmagic Pocket Camera Cinema 4K 6K. Wow, cool. So these must be fine. They have little fans. Two things. One, basics of cooling, okay, that I forget sometimes. Fans, the size of a fan matters because a small fan that's trying to cool a lot is going to make noise. It's going to go. That's going to be the fan spinning, which is fine because a little drive, itty bitty fan spinning on top of a camera is fine. It doesn't matter, whatever. But the second thing, the annoying thing that I realize is that not all enclosures are made the same. Depending upon like the controller, like whatever controller is in here that you're plugging your thing into, some of these are more sophisticated than others. So I got this. I can write to the drives on my camera with these plugged in, but I can't format the drives on my camera. I'm not able to push the form. It just hangs forever. And I'm sitting here for like an hour now. It was for like 3 hours. I'm trying to troubleshoot. Why the fuck can I not format these drives on the camera anymore? And then I started Googling around, like, is it really the enclosures? Because I switched. So then I swapped one back to the enclosure, and then I realized, oh, it's the fucking enclosure. So, so now I bought a different enclosure with a better USB controller, and even in a hopefully a larger fan. And now we're gonna try that one next. Fuck me, dude. That's our daily. That's our daily tech lesson. What did you buy? Fuck it. I just ordered 3 of these. Follow-up. Assuming perfect resolution, distortion absolutely does not differ between a 40mm lens and an 18mm lens cropped in. Distance of the camera from the subject determines the distortion, since when you're closer, more of a head in a portrait obstructs the background, while further away, less of it does. While you're technically correct there, realistically, unless you've got like a 50K whatever resolution sensor, you're not going to shoot portraits with an 18mm lens and just crop 98% of your image, right? So we got 3 of these, and hopefully these work. They're better USB controllers than that other little thing, and hopefully the fan is good enough. But good luck. What's the benefit of using external NVMe storage with an enclosure instead of a normal external SSD? I don't know. NVMe drives write really fast. The problem is that when recording this footage, you need something that writes incredibly quickly, because the I think at the resolution I'm shooting, I think I'm writing at 800 to 900 megabytes per second, I think. And I don't know, is it megabytes per second? I think it might be. It's really fast. I don't know why we measure internet speed in bytes or bits, but I think we measure like write speeds in bytes. But yeah, so I don't know which SSDs. I know some people would recommend, there was a really popular brand, Samsung T5s and T7s maybe. I don't know what the write speeds of these are. I'd have to look it up. But having something that writes fast enough, and ideally is pretty large, but like what's my sustained, so like this maximum write speed, 1000 megabytes per second. This is my max. I wouldn't trust this. I don't think this drive would be able to, I think it would skip a frame and then stop or something. Yeah. Crucial T7 Gen 5. Blistering read speeds of up to 12,400. Oh my god, the fuck? Oh, this is an M2 drive. Are you looking specifically for a USB drive? There are enclosures that convert M2 to USB 4? I don't even know what that means. I have my drives, that's fine. I just needed a better enclosure, but hopefully these new ones I ordered are good. Okay. We're done with all this. I have a Samsung 990 Pro NVMe SSD. Yes, I've got 3 of those in 3 different enclosures connected to each camera. That's basically what I use now, yeah. All right, what is this?
We have a breaking news bombshell.
Breaking news bombshell? Where's my graphics and alerts for my breaking news bombshell?
We have a breaking news bombshell. Donald Trump isn't even inaugurated yet, and he just suffered his first major public defeat and humiliation because Matt Gaetz, Trump's nominee to be Attorney General of the United States, just publicly withdrew his own name and candidacy from the office, and we have to talk about it. But before we do, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. Well, folks, this is very interesting. We all suspected that Donald Trump would not withdraw his nominee for the Attorney General, that he would not back away from Matt Gaetz. As a matter of fact, the reporting was that he was doubling down and he was directly phoning Republican senators to insist that they back his nominee for Attorney General, that they double down on Matt Gaetz. But Matt Gaetz actually just withdrew from the race. So he posted on Twitter, "I had excellent meetings with senators yesterday. I appreciate their thoughtful feedback and the incredible support of so many."
Wait, another chatting is asking if speed is the concern. Why not use an SSD array to plug into a camera via USB, a whole array? Bro, I just need the thing to plug into the camera to record.
While the momentum was strong.
Wait, didn't he already resign immediately from Congress? Okay, so I don't know enough about all the investigations and all this bullshit, but is there a chance that he left Congress in order to resign from Congress so that he could skip the investigation bullshit? Is that?
It is clear that my confirmation was unfairly becoming a distraction to the critical work of the Trump-Vance transition. There's no time to waste on a needlessly protracted Washington scuffle. Thus, I'll be withdrawing my name from consideration to serve as Attorney General. Trump's DOJ must be in place and ready on day one. I remain fully committed to see that Donald J. Trump is the most successful president in history. I will be forever honored that Donald Trump nominated me to lead the Department of Justice, and I'm certain that he will save America. So again, this comes on the heels of one scandal after another, as you know. Matt Gaetz was until recently a member of the United States House of Representatives, where he represented a district in Florida. And then he abruptly resigned from Congress, even though he just won re-election, the same day that Trump nominated him to be Attorney General. And his excuse at the time was, well, you know, I really want to give Speaker Mike Johnson and Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida time to appoint my successor so that razor-thin Republican majority maintains. But then it quickly became apparent that the real reason was that Matt Gaetz was trying to head off a very controversial, long-standing ethics investigation into claims that he engaged in sexual misconduct. An investigation by the Republican-led bipartisan House Ethics Committee, which has been going on for 3 years. As a matter of fact, this investigation is purportedly the source of tension between Matt Gaetz and former Republican Speaker Kevin McCarthy. And we talked about that in previous videos, that that's McCarthy's stance in the situation at the very least. Well, just days before the House Ethics Committee was set to vote on whether to release the report, Matt Gaetz resigned from Congress. Now, on paper, that kills the investigation because they no longer have any jurisdiction over a former member of Congress. So it's pretty clear that Gaetz did this not to really help the Republican majority, because he screwed over the Republican majority in the past when he torpedoed Kevin McCarthy's speakership. It was in the hopes that this report would not see the light of day. And as we've discussed in previous videos, Mike Johnson and other Republicans are doing their best to prevent that report from ever making it not only to the eyes of the American public, but also even to the Republican-led Senate Judiciary Committee, which would be responsible for venting Matt Gaetz if he, continued to be Donald Trump's nominee for Attorney General. They were trying to hide it from the American people and their own fellow Republicans. That's how salacious this report must be. And so now, despite the fact that Trump and Gaetz were meeting with senators, calling senators, putting the squeeze on senators, Matt Gaetz is like, yeah, well, the momentum was strong, but honestly, this is going to be too distracting, so I'm withdrawing my own name. Now, for Trump, this is actually probably the best case scenario politically, because if Trump withdrew Gaetz's name, that would be even more of a public defeat and humiliation, because it would be Trump's decision. Okay, wait a minute. You proffered this name that apparently you can't even get past your own cultish Republican Party, which will control the Senate. And so now you have to sheepishly okay, fine, I take it back. To an authoritarian, malignant narcissist like Donald Trump, that's the sort of humiliation that he wants to avoid. And again, he's not even inaugurated yet. So even though he was doubling down on Gaetz, if Gaetz's nomination were to be withdrawn and avoid the even more embarrassing outcomes, it would have had to have been from Gaetz himself. But quite candidly, I'm surprised that Gaetz did this for a couple of reasons. Number one, he's a pretty vain guy himself. He's vainglorious. He wants to be in front of the cameras. He wants attention. This is a guy who he's was a practicing attorney, and then he pivoted to Florida politics and then U.S. politics. This is a guy who wants the spotlight, much like his former colleague, Nancy Mace. Well, now he's no longer a member of the Republican House of Representatives. So where's he going to go to get that attention, right? He's not going to have the bully pulpit of a congressional seat behind him. He's not going to be the vice chair or the ranking member of, something of a Republican-led oversight committee or weaponization committee, right, where the spotlight is on him and he goes viral. He has no government power now. Now, of course, the alternative is that Trump nominates him for a different position, which doesn't require Senate confirmation. The Attorney General of the United States is a cabinet-level position, and most cabinet-level positions, but not all, require Senate confirmation. So that was the potential hurdle. Chief of Staff is the most powerful position in the entire White House. I would argue much more powerful even than cabinet employees.
Okay, hold on. I don't know who told Josiah that, but he says this a lot, that it's the most powerful position. I don't agree with this at all. But he says it a lot. The chief of staff is the go-between between the president and then the staff in the White House, of the office of the presidency. And I guess if you rely on him a lot to do communications or whatever, but to say that the chief of staff has more power than any other cabinet, I don't know where he gets that impression from or where that came from.
And it doesn't require Senate confirmation. But unfortunately for Gaetz, Susie Wiles, who helped lead Donald Trump's campaign, was already tapped to be his White House chief of staff. But also, Gaetz might just be biding his time because White House chiefs of staff under Donald Trump had a very high turnover rate. So it's possible that Trump gets very tired of Susie Wiles' more controlled, establishment approach, because she is reportedly the thing that kept Trump on message to the extent that he was on message at all or disciplined at all. Susie Wiles was the adult in the room. So it's possible that Trump gets tired of that and wants to appoint Matt Gaetz to an even more powerful role, arguably, than Attorney General, which doesn't require Senate confirmation. So I wouldn't rule out the prospect that Matt Gaetz eventually becomes White House Chief of Staff, effectively the second most powerful person in the federal government. But again, it could be a different role altogether. There are also rumors that Matt Gaetz might run to be governor of...
Like, I'd much rather have Matt Gaetz as the fucking White House Chief of Staff than the fucking AG.
Florida. I'm pretty sure Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida is term locked, and he just began his second term. He won a second term after then trying to run for president in the 2023-2024 Republican primary. So it could just be that Gaetz is biding his time. Maybe he'll get a sweet gig on Fox News or Newsmax or OAN or Steve Bannon's War Room podcast. Perhaps he'll start one of his own. I have no doubt that this man will be in the Trump orbit, and he will be looking for a more established position, perhaps in the Trump White House, as the Trump term goes through. So I doubt we have heard the last of Matt Gaetz. But this is big. He withdrew his own name, his own candidacy, in which is perhaps the least embarrassing of the all embarrassing options. This is still bad. This is still a defeat and humiliation for Trump because he doesn't get what he wanted. He wanted Matt Gaetz to be his hatchet man, his attorney general. I should also say that this follows the heels of reports when Matt Gaetz met with Republican senators that he tried to discourage them that he's not going to actually prosecute the enemy within or go after Trump's political opponents, even though he has shown great interest in doing that in the past. And Trump himself has expressed interest repeatedly for years explicitly in prosecuting his political opponents. But even that apparently wasn't enough to dissuade them. Matt Gaetz is trying to reassure senators anxious about the prospect of him becoming attorney general by telling them he won't use the Justice Department to immediately seek revenge on Donald Trump's enemies, according to a report. The former Florida congressman who requires Senate approval to join Trump's cabinet has been making his case to senators in one-on-one meetings. Quote, look, I'm not going to go in there and indict Liz Cheney, have stormtroopers bust through the studio door at MSNBC, and arrest Anthony Fauci in my first week, he told some senators, according to the Bulwark. The reference to refraining from seeking retribution only in his first week as Attorney General was interpreted as an ominous disclaimer by some, according to the report. So again, those senators noted, okay, are you saying that you're not going to do that at all, or specifically you're not going to do that in your first week? So even these things didn't really assuage concerns by Republican senators, and that probably led to the decision that he made just a few minutes ago to withdraw his name. So this is a major development, a major setback for Donald Trump. But again, Gaetz is slimy, Gaetz is cunning, and Gaetz loves the attention and the spotlight. And we will see and hear from him again, probably in the short term in media. But I expect he'll either make a gubernatorial bid towards the end of Governor Ron DeSantis' second term, or perhaps he will seek a non-Senate confirmable position in the Trump White House. Food for thought. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.
We'll straighten out that mess with Marco tomorrow.
Wow. Well, look, the House clip came up again. I guess it's good that Gaetz is out, although who knows what the next person will be. What, 5 more to go now? We have to get rid of I don't know how important the ambassador level position is for Huckabee or the HHS one is crazy. With RFK. Dr. Oz is whatever. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, the Tulsi Gabbard shit is... Oh my god, did Pisco fight with Brian on Garland? Oh no! Hold on one second. Today, it's a potato chip day.
There are things. Is there anything among the Democratic candidates themselves beyond the media structure that you think needs serious change?
Yeah, dude. Stop pretending like if you give goodwill to Republicans that you're going to get it back. I don't know how many times we have to sit there and watch Democrats say like, oh, well, we have to get back to regular order. We have to respect our norms and institutions in this hope that that goodwill will lead to some elusive reciprocity by Republicans. It never does. Take Merrick Garland, for example. He refused to investigate Donald Trump because, God forbid, we have the optics of politicization at the DOJ. And I guess he did that because he, again, like wanted to confer this idea of not seeming too partisan. Well, what did the Republicans do? They claimed the DOJ was weaponized anyway. They literally started a subcommittee on the weaponization of government. And so, like, we gained no goodwill by virtue of refusing to investigate Donald Trump for the first 2 years before Jack Smith.
There are things. Is there anything among the Democratic candidates themselves beyond the media structure that you think needs serious change?
Oh, I need to. Okay, never mind. I'm just gonna ask how to do it. Okay.
Yeah, dude. Stop pretending. God forbid. Again, too partisan. Well, what did the Republicans do? They claimed the DOJ was weaponized anyway. They literally started a subcommittee on the weaponization of government. And Donald Trump for the first 2 years before Jack Smith was ultimately appointed the special prosecutor. But we gained no goodwill. And in fact, far from gaining any goodwill, far from being able to gain some benefit from Republicans, they did the exact same thing, if not worse, than if Merrick Garland had just barreled ahead with this investigation into Trump anyway. So this idea that we have to give goodwill to Republicans and then get it back is so backwards and so blind to the reality on the ground right now that I mean, to your exact point, we do need Democrats who are going to recognize the fight that we're in, meet this moment with the urgency that it deserves, and actually fight back instead of trying to usher in some bygone era of bipartisanship when Republicans are beating us over the head with this idea that it's never going to happen.
Yeah, so really to follow up on this is so important. And I love to see conversion in real time. And I'm seeing on Pisco's face, he's recognizing the wisdom of what you're saying when it comes to Merrick Garland.
Wait.
By the way, Brian, just for the record, we have been howling about this.
I want to say Brian's point. I think Brian is correct globally. The only thing I would change is on that specific point. That's one where I differ from with the group on, because I don't actually blame Merrick Garland for a lot of the delay there. But I agree with the broader global point. I agree that it's an outdated kind of view of politics that unfortunately is dead as much as we want to bring it back. The only disagreement I have is on this specific example, but everything else that Brian said is completely based. I just want to say that.
So again, to his point though, again, we talked about this. Look at the polling. Merrick Garland's efforts have been for naught. The polling when it comes to the DOJ and their credibility with the Republicans is as bad as it was prior to Merrick Garland's confirmation, and is probably even worse. So he has bought no goodwill. He has bought such little goodwill that his successor is Matt Gaetz.
I totally agree. The thing is, if the whole exercise was, I think Merrick Garland should be doing things so that the public support the DOJ, that is just not my view of what we're talking about. I just have a different view on
I understand. I'm just
what
taking the
justice
opportunity.
requires.
I was just taking the opportunity to underscore Brian's point and to shit on Merrick Garland, because
it's a good point globally that I agree.
Yeah, no, 100%. I will also say, Brian, there's another example that I'm curious if you follow what's going on with the Senate Judiciary Committee, and I've not heard you say this. I think I heard you criticize Dick Durbin yesterday. I'm a big Sheldon Whitehouse fan, and I expect you are as well. And in a better timeline, he is the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, and things look a lot different. One of the things that the Trump administration did the first time around is they revoked this rule called the blue slip, which was basically Democrats, for the audience who are not aware of it, any senator could effectively veto a presidential nominee for federal court in their state. It was called a blue slip. It was basically like, hey, Mr. President, this one doesn't work for me. Can you pick somebody else? When Republicans took the Senate in 2017 and Trump became president, they revoked the blue slip rule just unilaterally, proactively for district court judges.
Right.
Circuit court judges, not district courts. And when Democrats took power back in 2020 and 2021, Republicans were so upset. Oh, you need to restore the blue slip rule. We need to have say in what President Biden nominates. And Sheldon Whitehouse said, no, you all created this mess. We're not going to rebalance the scales. This is the mess that you've created. But I've criticized Dick Durbin because I think he should have done one further. I think just as the Senate Republicans revoked the blue slip rule for circuit judges, Democrats should have done it for district judges. 100%. And we're actually living with the consequences of this right now, because Aileen Cannon is a district court judge. Yep. And the reason that she got that Trump's documents case and was able to overturn it or to dismiss it was because there were a number of vacancies in Florida that were blocked by Republicans out of Florida. So my point is, we have lost the opportunity to, maximize the number of judges that President Biden can appoint. And if I had to bet, I would bet $100 that Senate Republicans, now that Trump is going back into the White House, the moment it's convenient, they'll revoke the blue slip rule again for district judges and just populate the United States with a bunch of little alien cannons that we're going to have to live with for the rest of our lives. But the reason that I'm bringing this up is because Dick Durbin didn't want to do that, because he was like, well, we've got to return to normal order.
Right.
And so I guess my question for you.
Wow. Pisco's never held to account here for his wrong opinion on this. They just skirt by it. Unbelievable.
Is, do you expect, based on conversations you've had with Senate Democrats, do you expect that they are learning the lesson, or are you worried that they're going to double down on this hope that Republicans will reciprocate their good faith?
Well, this isn't based on conversations, because I haven't spoken to any Senate Democrats in a long time, but just from what I know, I mean, look, I think we would be fools to assume that Democrats are suddenly, that the Democrats that we have, who have proven over and over and over again that they are more deferential to regular order and norms than they are to fighting, will somehow just become people that they aren't. And so I think it's incumbent on us, to beat this drum. It's incumbent on us to elect people who are going to actually put winning over like this adherence to norms, as if they're being sent to Washington to protect norms and not to protect like reproductive rights and civil rights and voting rights and all of that stuff. So look, I mean, as cynical as a take as it may be, no, I would probably defer to just saying that the people who have been deferential to norms are going to remain deferential to norms, as elusive as it might be, as opposed to recognizing that we actually have to change our tune and start fighting. I think until we get different people in there, I mean, right now it doesn't even matter because we'll be relegated to the minority anyway, but until we have different people in there, or until we beat it over the head like over and over and over and over, and these Republicans, by the way, stop taking their cues from the both sides media, then I think
the
really
both sides media.
I
also think
go ahead, Hutch. I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say, I also think it's challenging because when you look at polling, it's something like 75% of Americans polled want the parties to work together, but they don't seem to punish Republicans for their obstruction. And so it's just, it is a really difficult thing to navigate because, they seem to give Democrats a lot more shit when they engage in kind of like hardball. And I don't really know what the answer to that is.
And that's the way that the system is, just that Republicans are graded on a curve, right? Like when we say that we want the parties to work together, think about which parties are working together. Think about which party passed the bipartisan infrastructure law. Think about which party and brags about calling it the bipartisan infrastructure law. Think about which party brags about calling it the bipartisan gun safety reform law.
Right.
Like, it is only one party that's doing this, and the expectation, because the Democrats are the adults in the room, the only party that's expected to work in a bipartisan fashion and does work in a bipartisan fashion and makes compromises in a bipartisan fashion, in the same way that we did for the border bill that gave everything the Republicans wanted without any comprehensive immigration reform, and still it was fucking knocked down by Trump and Republicans, is just the Democrats. And meanwhile, what did Republicans do with their political capital? How much bipartisanship did they engage in? There was a tax cut for millionaires and billionaires. That's it. That's what they did. That's what they used their
millionaires and
political capital on.
billionaires.
They had a willing Democratic Party that was clearly looking to work on infrastructure because they did it the next term. They had a Democratic Party that was looking to work on issue after issue. The Democrats have proven that they're willing to make compromises and concessions for Republicans,
and still are.
And still are to this day. I mean, Kamala Harris ran a campaign where presumably she's looking for majorities in every house in Congress, but still was willing to sign that border bill. And so, like, that's the asymmetry on full display.
I'll give you a concrete example that I use all the time in conversations and debates I have with MAGA Republicans on this notion of bipartisanship. So consider this: in 2020, we already tried to impeach Donald Trump. Nancy Pelosi was Speaker of the House. But when there was a national crisis in the form of COVID, what did she do? She worked bipartisanly with Trump and Republicans on two major COVID stimulus bills. So this is a man who wasn't just the the opposition. I imagine a lot of Democratic politicians, understandably, hate Donald Trump personally. They think he's a threat to democracy. They think he's a fascist. There's a personal animus there, which is rightly and richly deserved. But in an election year, with that man whom they tried to impeach, they worked with him bipartisanly to save American lives and to stimulate the economy.
Okay. We don't need any more of these virtues and cocks. Do we need to watch this? Do I want to? What do you want? I still need to work on. I need to work on all my shit today. So today is boring. We're gonna do videos. We're gonna meme out. What's worth watching right now? Not gonna lie, it's not worth watching. Did you talk about the ICC's new arrest warrants? Nope.
But you also did this, Cenk. You also did this. Let's watch.
The difference that I bring to the table is a track record of successful prediction based upon how American presidential elections have previously worked as pragmatic decision-making on whether or not the White House party has governed well enough. And then my analysis is based upon what's changed, what's shattered the pattern of 160 years of history. So I have a base for my analysis. I'm not just doing Monday morning quarterbacking. Cenk, you need to learn some manners. Your act is getting really thin.
I mean, brother, I said what was going to go wrong. It did go wrong. I was right. You were wrong in this election spectacularly so with your so-called keys. And now you come and tell us not the Monday morning
unlike you, I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong.
That is true.
You do need to learn a little bit of manners.
No, I've been a bad boy.
You were bad. You were bad. You were a little. That was a bit much.
Okay, no. So let me now break it down because look, guys, it's easy to make fun of Alan Lakeman. He got it massively wrong and kind of hilariously wrong, and he was so insistent. That's why it's even funnier. But there's a serious part to this, and it's really important actually, and I don't want you guys to miss that. Look, his keys are based, there's two giant problems with his keys. One is it's irrational to say that any set of factors is definitive. You can't say that it's definitive. And the point I was making to him, remember the original debate was when Biden was still in the race. I'm like, yes, but if the candidate has dementia, then your keys are not relevant because there's a superseding factor. And he's like,
was Reagan in really rough condition for his second election, or was it just for the end of his second term? I don't know enough about Reagan's whole presidency, but I heard that at least by the end, people were saying that like his wife was like literally running things. I don't know how true that is or not though. Just the end of his second term. Okay.
No, it doesn't matter. And I said, okay, let's take an extreme example. What if the candidate punched a baby in the face every single day? Would that matter? He said, no, it wouldn't.
Oh, come on.
I mean, come on, right? So like the guy is inherently unreasonable, and the reason why I don't mind, pointing this out, one of the reasons is because he's so arrogant and overconfident, and he was selling hopium to a lot of people, and they needed that hopium, but that hopium was, and this is the most important part, leading them in the wrong direction. They were all going, oh no, the professor says Biden should stay in. The professor says it doesn't matter if the candidate has dementia. The professor says that he's always right, and even if the candidate's brain falls out of his ear in the middle of a debate, or he melts on screen, it still doesn't matter that because of the keys, they'll vote for the blob. But most importantly, a lot of the keys are about incumbency. And he's like, if you pick the incumbent will win. But that's actually a terrible advice. In this day and age, he's looking at elections from decades ago when there was no internet, when local politics was king, when you could actually have the party machine have a message that goes only in mainstream media, and mainstream media would then affect the election results. But now because of online media, none of that applies.
Why does he use terms like hopium? Is he a gamer? Somebody pointed out that I used a gamer word at Sarah Palin when I called her the N-word. No, I'm just kidding. A different gamer word. I didn't even realize it was a gamer word. I forgot, but I said auto loss. Like, why would you do this? Like, it was something in reference to something Trump said. And I was like, everybody thought there would be an auto loss for him. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize. I read a comment afterwards, like.
Anymore, the incumbents don't have an advantage anymore. They have an albatross around their neck because they're responsible for everything.
It makes sense. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Do you think that he possibly applied them incorrectly or overly biasedly? I mean, maybe. I don't know. Supposedly, Nate Silver went through and did the keys, and he applied them differently than Lichtman, which was funny because usually people are arguing Lichtman's model is wrong, not that Lichtman has interpreted his own model incorrectly, which is funny, I guess.
Every policy position that goes wrong.
The Intel JHL 8044 whatever controller or controller-based drives are the only ones that will currently get real USB 4, TB4 speeds. I don't care. I don't need the maximum fucking 7 trillion megabytes per second, whatever the fuck. I just need it to write at the appropriate speed for the camera that I'm recording from. I don't know why you keep spamming the same thing over and 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 over again. Please stop. Shut the fuck up. Oh my god.
So, but he did not want to adjust. And guys, the number one reason why you need to know all of this is because in the next election cycle, they're going to come at you with the same BS. And they're going to tell you, oh, we got keys, we got cars, we got oranges, and we got professors, and we got mainstream media people, and we got Queen Latifah, and we got all these people, and they tell you you should pick the most corporate Democrat, the most establishment one, the one who takes the most corporate money, the most donor money. Oh, don't go populist, trying to appeal to the average man. What a terrible idea. Just trust Alan Lichtman's keys that incumbents and Democratic leaders know best. Well, if they know best, why did they lose to Trump twice? Why was Alan Lichtman so wrong? So it's not just about beating up on poor Alan Lichtman, who of course has to be mortified now at how preposterously wrong he was. It's about making sure that we don't make that same mistake again.
If Alan Lichtman would just admit, just have a little bit of humility and just say, look, I got it wrong. I got it wrong this time.
Period.
Isn't that literally exactly what he said? Don't make me a Lichtman simp, because I'm not even, didn't you just watch him literally in a clip say that? What happened to her brain?
If Alan Lichtman would just admit, just have a little bit of humility and just say, look, I got it wrong. I got it wrong this time.
Period.
That's it. It's okay. It's totally fine. People get things wrong time to time. I get things wrong time to time.
We say it all the time. It's not a big deal.
It's the, look, for me, it's not even about his keys system. It's not about what he prefers in a Democratic candidate. I don't care about that. He's an American. He gets to have his own opinions. That's totally fine. The thing for me is just the smugness, his unwillingness to even hear a differing opinion or argument without responding with like this sarcasm and like this elitist attitude. Like that's the thing that bothers me about Alan Lichtman. Like there's too much ego in his interactions with other people.
Yeah.
100%. In Turkish, there's a saying this is both wrong and strong. Like,
ooh, I like that.
Yeah, but
we know it. I'm just kidding.
So, but why did Alan Lichtman, rando professor, get all this airtime? So that is actually the more important part of this story. It's because in the beginning, before he came to online media, mainstream media put him on air 24/7.
He was a darling.
Over and over again. Why? They could pick any professor, and there's tons of professors who thought that Joe Biden was going to lose. But mainstream media wanted Joe Biden. And that's back when they were pretending that he was young and dynamic. Oh, Mika and Joe told him, we had secret meetings. And oh my God, he solved the theory of relativity all over again in our secret meetings. Behind the scenes, he's so dynamic. So in order to perpetuate that lie, they're like, oh, that dumbass professor thinks a bunch of keys is going to predict that Biden's going to win, even though it makes no sense. Come on on. Yeah, Professor Lichtman, everybody listen to Professor Lichtman.
So look, okay.
Then make your own model, then go be on TV. I mean, what do you want to... what are you supposed to do? Make a model, go on TV, try to predict things. Everybody wants to be able to predict things. It's a huge thing for election stuff, right? Same thing with pollsters. Everybody wants to have the next Nate Silver or 538 or good prediction models or good polling things. Or there's nothing nefarious or malicious going on here. It's just people want to be able to make good predictions. And that guy had a model that he purported to be correct about. People are like, oh, fuck it.
I think the way you're framing it is unfair. I think oftentimes, the hosts and maybe even the producers who staff these cable news shows, they're looking for their own hopium. You get what I'm saying?
No, I get you, and it's not a conspiracy, Anna. So I want to be clear and thank you for to me.
Oh, okay. Thank you because it sounded like you were making it out to be a big conspiracy where they were picking people just to give their audience hopium just to choose the establishment candidate. But thank you. Okay.
That point. It's not like MSNBC and CNN call each other and they're like, okay, should we bring on the nutty professor, right? And so No, it's groupthink. Groupthink is, it's got to be Biden. It's got to be Biden. Who's saying it's Biden? Oh, Alan Lichtman's saying it's not Biden. Bring him on. Bring him on. Biden. Then, okay, Biden's out. Then Kamala, bring him back on. Bring him on. Kamala. It's groupthink. And so, and I'm kidding around with the dumb and the nutty. He's not dumb. He's a professor.
He's written a lot of books.
So many books. If you write a lot of books, that means you're smart. It doesn't matter what's in the books. Okay.
I actually think it does mean you're smart. Writing a book is real hard.
Okay. But guys,
Cenk is like so lost in all the extremist media. Not lost in like he's lost, but like he can get lost in it. But the one thing I will say that I like about Cenk, like even like that little comment, like, oh, he's not dumb, he's a smart guy, whatever, right? Usually when people are like engage in this type of rhetoric, or like I'll do it too, like, oh, this guy fucked up so hard here, but I don't think he's a dumb guy. Like, this guy's chill, whatever, you fucked up. I like that Cenk can like go hard and then just like chill. I appreciate that. I will always appreciate that as a character trait of Cenk. I appreciate that.
Look, it's not about poor Alan Lichtman. Just, I'm happy to leave him alone.
Regardless of if I agree with his political opinion or not, a lot I don't. I appreciate that character.
He's just a random civilian that the mainstream media picked out of the woodworks to convince you to vote for Biden and Kamala Harris, right? So, and he's, of course, he's not dumb. He's a professor and he's, et cetera. The reason why I go in that route, guys, is because when you're that arrogant and you're that wrong, if you can't bring humility and say, I am adjusting now because it turns out I was wrong about the power of incumbency and I don't want Democratic voters to make that mistake again, then great, go again, bygones be bygones, God bless, no problem at all. Let's move on. But when he comes back on, and I guarantee you 3 years from now, they'll have Professor Lichtman back on telling you it's gotta be Buttigieg. It's like my keys say Buttigieg. Don't pick anyone like Bernie Sanders. My key says Buttigieg or Newsom, right? Well, we're gonna have that fight all over again. So that's the problem.
Hey, what's happening on December 1st? Hopefully I'm done with all my little corporate restructuring, okay?
Joining us now is Patrick Bet-David, host of the...
Oh! Why did this autoplay? The most triggering possible video.